Welcome. Today we'll be doing a short yin yoga video, and we'll focus on the heart center and opening it up. So here we have Kate, and she is in a supported heart opening pose facing down. And she has one block underneath either shoulder. Her arms are resting by her sides with palms facing up, which is a gesture of receptivity. If your chest wasn't quite as open, you could always lower the blocks down a level. She'll stay here for several breaths, taking a deep breath in through her nose and a deep breath out through her nose. And then just continuing at her own pace, deeply inhaling and exhaling into the heart space. We usually have a tendency to round our shoulders forward throughout the day, especially doing a lot of computer work or driving. And the heart center is our area of true knowing and intuition, and so it's important to access it in poses like these. And so after taking several breaths here, allowing her body to settle more into stillness. And when she's ready, she'll mindfully press herself up and remove the blocks from underneath her shoulders, sliding them to the side. Remembering that transitions are just as important as the poses themselves, and so just moving slowly, maybe keeping eyes closed, and arriving back on her belly in her own time. Feeling that new openness created underneath her chest and shoulders. Maybe rock a little bit side to side. And then extend your arms out into a T shape with palms facing down. And she'll walk her right hand in toward her rib cage and come onto her right fingertips and very mindfully begin to roll all the way over her left shoulder, allowing her cheek to rest on the mat. And if your cheek wasn't able to touch the ground, you could always slide a block underneath it. Keeping her front arm as it is, or mindfully wrapping it behind her back to help open up chest and shoulders a little bit more. And so here it's as if the bottom shoulder is receiving a massage from the ground. There's really nothing that you need to do once you're in this shape, just allowing the pose to move through your body. Taking a deeper breath in and a deeper breath out. Relax your jaw. Become mindful once you settle here if there are any thoughts swirling around inside your head. And see if you can draw your awareness back to your breath or back to a physical sensation, anchoring yourself there. And over the next several breaths, mindfully unwind, coming back onto your belly and extend your arms out into a T, taking as much time as you need to transition. And then walking your left hand in toward your rib cage, come onto your left fingertips and slowly, mindfully roll all the way over your right shoulder. Now, mindful that one side may be very different than the other, so you can modify accordingly, going deeper, backing off, front arm can thread back behind you. And so we learn to approach these shapes with no expectation, that each day we come onto our mats, that both sides of our body are different, and it's a very different experience every single time. And deep breath in, and deep breath out. And so usually with these yin shapes, you can expect to hold them for about 3 to 5 minutes. And so you can always linger in the shapes a little bit longer, as long as your body would like. And then inhale, rolling back onto your belly, mindfully unwind. Taking a moment to notice any new sensations. And then very slowly, mindfully press onto hands and knees, and then transition into child's pose, hips to heels. Yeah. And so either variation with the legs, either knees together or knees as wide as the mat. Arms can stretch long in front of you or drape them by your sides to help shoulders relax down. And so I like this particular shape because it is very self-nurturing and contained. If you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, this shape is especially useful to arrive into. Taking several breaths here, feeling the rise and fall of your chest, belly, back body. Feeling your third eye press into the ground. And then mindfully make your way back onto hands and knees. We'll move through just a few cat-cow stretches to get the spine moving again. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale to draw your navel down toward the mat. Lift the crown of your head, tailbone. And exhale, draw your navel in toward your spine, round your back, push. And just a few more times, moving at your own pace. Inhale. And exhale, undulate back and forth. It becomes important to move the spinal column in this way as we usually hold ourselves in sort of a still position or hunched forward. So moving all of that prana, that energy around. And then make your way back to neutral spine when you're ready. And we'll come into a shape called heart melting pose. So you're going to separate your knees as wide as your mat. Let your big toes touch. And then begin to walk your torso forward and let your heart melt all the way down to the mat. So unlike child's pose, your hips are very high. Your forehead might touch the mat, or you might slide a block underneath it. And the further you crawl your fingertips away from your body, the deeper the stretch for your shoulders and chest, so keep that in mind. And letting those deeper connective tissues start to expand and open up. And so in yin, the principle behind holding poses for several minutes is to allow the deeper connective tissues to have a chance to lengthen. Sometimes the best way to encourage our bodies to open up is to allow them to move into shapes naturally instead of pushing or forcing. And that is the energy of this practice. And take a deeper breath in, fill into the back body. And a deeper breath out. Noticing perhaps your heart melting a little bit closer to the mat, even if it's just a centimeter. Not only do we store physical tension in the body, but there's also elements of emotional energy as well as memories stored there. You may have very powerful insights in these poses. In your own time, you'll make your way back onto hands and knees. Very slowly moving there, mindful of the transition, and then maybe a few cat-cow stretches. Nice. Transitions being very important. So eventually, you'll come to lay on your back, so you can either set your hips to your heels, or come onto your belly first, and just allow yourself to lay all the way down on your back. Good. You can keep your eyes closed, and you can stretch your arms long overhead, reaching through the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. Exhale, hug your knees in toward your chest. Give yourself a very tight hug and gently rock your hips from side to side. Massage the muscles on your lower back. So we'll come into a twist here. Extend your arms out into a T shape with your palms facing down. Scoot your hips over to the left and let your knees collectively fall to the right. Yeah, and allowing your gaze to be in the opposite direction of your knees. So I like to think of twists not only as a way to detoxify the body, but also as a way to wring out the mind of any worry, anxiety, or stress. And so should a thought arise, simply draw your awareness back to your breath or back to a physical sensation. And inhale, draw your knees back to center. And then as you exhale, transition mindfully to the other side, allowing the hips to stack one on top of the other. I find it more grounding to allow the shoulder blades to root down than to even bring your knees all the way down, so keeping that in mind. Noticing how this side feels compared to the other. And then inhale, draw your knees back to center, hug them in toward your chest once again. Yeah. And allow yourself to bring the soles of your feet together. The outer edges of your feet will find the mat for reclined butterfly pose. Bring one hand to your belly. Bring one hand to your chest. And to feel the rise and fall of your breath underneath your palms. So I think the hips and the heart are very connected. We store a tremendous amount of emotional energy in our hips. It's like the emotional storehouse in the body. And so likely the heart is constricted. The hips might follow suit or vice versa. So we allow the openness to take place. Allowing with each in-breath to envision being filled with light energy. And with each exhale, imagine emptying yourself out of anything that feels heavy or burdensome. Checking in with your heart space, noticing how does it feel. Hopefully feeling more open, more freedom. From your heart space, allow an intention to come into your awareness that you can bring with you into the rest of your day. And maybe simply your intention is to take time to be still, to connect to your heart space more regularly, your area of true knowing. And when you have an intention in mind, bring both hands onto your heart space. Either palms can be together or one hand can stack on top of the other. Connecting sweetly to yourself and express a very deep sense of gratitude for taking time out in your day that was just for you, even just this short amount of time. And then taking this practice into the rest of your day as you interact with your world. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I look forward to sharing more videos with you over time. Namaste.